Guys, speaking of controversial opinions, let's do some hot takes, man.
All right, hot takes.
What are some of the opinions that you have that most people will think you're crazy? Let's go with I don't know. Give me two.
Two? Okay. So my first one, I think that Virgil van Dijk is overrated.
Really?
I do. Especially this season, man. I know, for example, I picked him in some combined 11 teams here, like I did with Liverpool and Real Madrid. I had mentioned I almost picked him off of his history.
Yeah.
And so I kind of started thinking about that more, Virgil van Dijk. And I came to the conclusion that he's overrated. I think he was only looked so good the past few seasons. It's because he had a good midfield in front of him. He had an informed Fabinho, Henderson, and Wijnaldum. And this season, Fabinho's in terrible form. You can really see Henderson's age.
Wijnaldum's playing in Turkey.
Now he's in Rome. He's at Roma. Okay. You have Beščić, young kid coming through. I mean, Liverpool against Real Madrid in the second leg, they played Cody Gakpo in midfield. They brought him down into midfield. And I think that's exposing that Liverpool defense. Trent Alexander-Arnold also being exposed quite a bit. But I think it's also exposing Virgil van Dijk. And I don't think he hasn't looked good at all this year. That's for sure.
Yeah. Some might argue last year he didn't look great.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Not as bad as this year.
No. I mean, Liverpool, yeah, they've won the Premier League with him. They won a Champions League with him. But again, I think you got to give it to that offense and just the overall quality of the team that was around him.
Yeah.
And I think this year,
I see your
he's
arguments,
getting exposed.
Right?
He looks lazy this year. Like maybe it went to his head, the success. I don't know.
Could be age.
He's not that old, though.
He's, 31, I think?
Is he? I don't think he's that old. Oh, he is 31. So it could be, he hit 30 and maybe we're seeing the decline of Virgil van Dijk. But I think he's overrated. He's been thrown around there as the best defender in the Premier League ever. I don't think he's in that conversation at all.
I think whoever said that needs to rethink their how they see football.
I also don't think he's had the type of quality forwards like we've seen in the past going against. Can you imagine a Didier Drogba going up against Virgil van Dijk?
No, because he'd end his career.
And that's what I'm saying. He's overrated.
Yeah. I mean, who's he going up against?
Realistically, Haaland, Jesus,
Aguero,
Harry Kane.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at Champions League, you can maybe throw in Messi, Lewandowski,
Benzema,
but still,
Benzema essentially made him look like an average defender. So
that's what I'm saying. He's an average defender.
And that's a 37-year-old Benzema. Just saying.
And so that's what I'm saying. Virgil van Dijk is overrated. That's my hot take.
Okay. I mean, I see where you're coming from again. It's easy to be a good defender when your team has 70% possession, right? Like they had previous seasons. It's easy to be considered a great defender when teams don't get the ball to your defense because your pressing is so intense.
You mean when your midfield is pressing?
Yeah. Like the whole team, the pressing from forward, midfield. It's easy to be considered a great center back when your team's on the attack all the time. When you're not on attack all the time and you're having to defend more is generally when you would get exposed. And you know what? I have to agree with you on this one. I think
really?
Van Dijk, with the way Liverpool have been playing this season.
I changed your mind, huh? I convinced you.
You did. It was a good argument. I mean, I was teetering on the fence I never thought that he's up near the top of best Premier League center backs of all time. No, not even close.
I've definitely heard that argument out there, though, and I just want to shut that one down right away.
I'd probably pick 10 better than him. Don't get me wrong. At Liverpool, probably what? When they won the league? That was what? 1920?
1920 season, and then they won the Champions League in 2019.
Yeah. So the Champions League year, he was great.
They had 2 good years.
But
3.
he was also in his mid-late 20s.
His prime.
He was great in the year they won the league. But that's also the COVID year where there are no fans. Fans make a huge difference. So, what do you guys think? Let us know.
Let me think. Yeah, you think Virgil van Dijk is overrated?
Yeah, let me know. I'm interested to see the responses on this one. All right, Targo.
What's one of your hot takes?
Okay. This one's going to be really controversial. The more and more I look at it, the more and more it makes sense. Erling Haaland will be considered a better striker than Cristiano Ronaldo by the time his career is over.
Really? You think so?
I think so. Let's just go over some stats, right? I mean, at this age, Erling Haaland's 22. He's already considered one of the best strikers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Ronaldo wasn't quite playing striker yet. He was playing for Manchester United. He was on the wing. He was phenomenal, but he didn't score as many goals.
I have a question, though, for you. So when you say you said a better striker?
Yes. Goal scorer.
A better goal scorer.
Yes.
So do trophies in this count?
No,
just purely goals.
Goals.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Erling Haaland will win anywhere near as many trophies as Cristiano Ronaldo did. I'm going to throw that out there right now. Because Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the all-time greats. As much as I dislike his attitude on the field, he is a great in the game. And I don't think there will be many like him ever again. But I think Erling Haaland will eventually be better. So, age 22, Erling Haaland in 242 games has scored 198 goals. Very impressive. Ronaldo at age 22 had 60.
No, that's
By
a big
the time
difference.
he got to 198 goals, he was 25 years old. It's 3 more years. Ronaldo technically, one would say, didn't hit his peak until he was 30. Because he scored more goals after 30 than he did before 30. However,
Man, peak Ronaldo, though, at Real Madrid.
yes. I'm getting there.
Oh.
Yeah, peak Ronaldo at Real Madrid was something else. The battles between him and Messi were probably what you would call once in a lifetime. I don't know if that'll ever happen again.
So this is a little bit of a sidebar, but like honestly, watching that El Clasico this last weekend, it just didn't have that same intensity or fire back when the Ronaldo Messi era.
Yeah. ESPN came out with a great article of where El Clasico will be in 5 years. I thought it was very interesting. So if you guys get along to reading that, sidebar, let us know what you think. But before we spend too much time on that instead of the real topic.
Yeah, I just had to mention that. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree. So yeah, Ronaldo didn't hit 198 goals till he was 25. He was playing for Real Madrid at the time. Erling Haaland is 22 years old. We're calling him a robot that always is in the right spot at the right time. Always. He's 22. If he was to do this same, I guess, the same pace of goals, so 200 goals every, 4 years-ish? And he's only going to get better, so let's call it 3. By the time he's 35, he'll have
300 goals. Is that what you said?
What?
That's a lot of goals, bud.
200 goals every 3 years? I mean, he's only been playing top-level football for 4 years.
I still, though, I mean, so I'm going to come out and say it. I disagree with you on this
hot
take.
I know.
100%.
That's why it's a hot take.
So, like, I do know Haaland will have to score 42 goals a season for the next 13 years to break Ronaldo's record of goals scored.
I think he will, but I think he doesn't have to do it for 13 years because he's going to score way more than that every single year. I mean, he's at 42 goals right now this season, and there's still 10 games left plus Champions League plus FA Cup.
I hear you. He's having an amazing season. I won't deny that.
I would say by his standards, he's not having a great season with the amount of chances he gets.
But to do that for that long, to be that consistent, that's going to be tough.
I think if he goes to La Liga, he's going to score an obscene amount of goals every single season.
I definitely think he can keep this 40-goal pace for, honestly, I'd say maybe 8 years even. But, I mean, and then Ronaldo's still playing. Scoring goals in Saudi Arabia, man.
Yeah. Erling Haaland probably will play until he's 40, since he has the same regimen that Ronaldo has. He'll go play in the MLS probably.
We'll see. So he could, barring any injuries, but as you and I both know, you can be the best young talent, and if you get injuries, it can definitely derail a career.
Yeah, I mean, you're one blowout of your knee away from never being the same person ever again. I get it.
And so that's where, for that long of a time, I don't think so. And just the type of players they are. Ronaldo created goals. Does Haaland really create goals?
Did Ronaldo really create that many goals, though?
I mean, throwing bicycle kicks out of nowhere in Champions League quarterfinals, semifinals.
Yeah, but that's scoring goals. I don't think Ronaldo will ever be known for the amount of assists he has.
No, I wouldn't say that, but I would say Ronaldo created his own goals, beating players, cutting in.
Yeah.
I don't see Haaland doing that, especially not now at Man City.
Well, he doesn't have to, right? He did a little bit at Dortmund, but
he did a little bit at Dortmund. And here's what I would say:
at Manchester City, he's surrounded by some of the best players in the world.
And so, what happens when those Manchester City players go through a dry spell? You've seen it already this season in games. If maybe a De Bruyne or Bernardo Silva aren't having the best game, Haaland doesn't have chances.
Yeah,
you saw it against. I mean, we've seen it in some of these draws that they've had.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he can do it. I personally think by the end of it, he will have done it. But
okay, well,
I also don't think he plays in the Premier League very long.
I think that is definitely a hot take, is one I disagree with, and so I'm interested to hear what you guys have to think.
Yeah, let us know. It's a hot take, and I probably will get a lot of flack for it. I'll be honest, but that's why I have that hot take. So let's get to your second one, Targo.
My second one is definitely a little bit more controversial, I think. So my second hot take is I think Arsenal will win the Champions League before PSG.
Okay.
And here's why.
Okay.
So Arsenal, for a little bit of history, the last time they were in the Champions League, it's been some years. It was the 2016-17 season. Obviously, this year we saw PSG in the Champions League get knocked out by Bayern Munich in the round of 16, where they seem to like to go out. Is that round of 16? They do have a final appearance, PSG. When was that? 2020? Where again, they also lost to Bayern Munich. Arsenal also have a Champions League final appearance a little bit longer ago, back in 2006, where they lost to a Barcelona team. But here's why I think Arsenal will win the Champions League final before PSG, unless PSG makes some very dramatic changes in their club. I think their whole recruitment of buying these superstars and trying to put them together into almost a air quote Galactico squad is not going to do him any favors. I think we're kind of seeing it now. We saw it on the weekend. They lost to, what was it, Rennes? Stade Rennes?
Mm-hmm.
Versus Arsenal, they are kind of going through a more youthful approach. And I also think it's because of Mikel Arteta, the coach for Arsenal. His vision, the way he wants his team to play. I feel like PSG don't hang on to a coach long enough for something like that to happen. And it also kind of goes back to be because they are buying all these big name superstars. It's hard to build that culture and to, it's basically a culture, that club feel.
They buy superstars, they don't build them.
Yeah, exactly. They're buying superstars instead of building superstars. That's a fantastic point.
Yeah.
And again, I unless PSG honestly go and get a Pep Guardiola type coach, and he has his time to get the players he wants, I don't see PSG winning the Champions League anytime soon.
I mean, do you really think PSG stand a chance of getting Pep Guardiola?
No. But they would need a coach of that caliber to get them anywhere close to it. I mean, like I said, they've been close. They got to a final a few years ago. But the way that club is run, I don't see it happening. I know that's their big goal, is to win the Champions League, but then it's also difficult when you're in Liga, not playing against the highest competition.
Yeah.
Whereas Arsenal has to play the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, Man City, Tottenham. The competition, I would say, is higher in the Premier League than it is in Liga. And I think that can also come back to bite PSG.
I mean, I think probably most of the teams in the Premier League could win a league title in Liga, barring, a few. But that's my opinion.
So yeah, that's my other hot take.
I don't necessarily agree with you, but I also don't disagree with you. I don't think PSG will win under the current structure, will come anywhere near winning a Champions League. I know they came close in 19 and 20, but like you said, you see the cracks now. The way they build teams, they buy them. It doesn't work. Yes, you are correct. If they don't get a manager of the quality of Pep Guardiola or, I don't know, Carlo Ancelotti, I don't think Jose Mourinho would do much there either. But, I mean, who is there? That is that quality of coach.
It's not a big list.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think they get a coach like that. Like you said, they don't keep coaches longer than 3 years max.
I was going to say 2.
But yeah, 2. Not maybe 1. I don't even know if their current coach, was it Gautier?
Yeah.
Stays after this season. But I also, on the other hand, with the way the Champions League is and the way Arsenal are in tournament play, I don't know if I see Arsenal winning the Champions League either. Yes, I would love to see it, but I don't see that happening either. So you won't be wrong, but I don't think either one wins the Champions League anytime soon. Yes, Arsenal might be more likely, but I don't see either one.
I think with the young talent they have coming up, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Martin Odegaard. I mean, Bukayo Saka, I'll focus on him, man. This kid's already a superstar. And he's 20?
21.
21?
Yeah, 21. I think he just turned 21 not long ago.
So, yeah, imagine what he's going to be like in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
The potential there is ginormous. He could be huge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, same with Gabriel Martinelli, same with Martin Odegaard. I mean, we've seen it this year. People have been saying it for years. He just needed the right environment. I mean, that's the average age of that squad, yes.
It's the second youngest squad, I think, in the Premier League.
Is it second or first?
I think it's second average age in the Premier League.
No, last year they were first youngest. I just, yeah, I don't. There, the potential is there, but I don't think they really. I don't think they win it with the likes of Barcelona coming up, the way Real Madrid always is. Bayern
Barcelona
Munich.
going out in the Europa League playoff.
I said the way that they're coming up. I did not say this season.
You mean how they need to shave 200 million off their wage or off their wages?
Yeah, I mean they have a lot of deadwood that does not play.
Honestly, the biggest competitions I see in the Champions League: Bayern Munich, right now, Man City, Real Madrid.
Yeah. I mean, if Napoli can keep their players,
if Napoli can continue the way they're going, yeah.
But yeah, it's difficult for me to say yes, Arsenal will win the Champions League. I think they win a couple more league titles, yeah. Champions League's a whole nother beast. So let us know what you guys think. It should be interesting.